Welcome back to the National Defense. It's Randy Miller, and it's day two of this massive conference. And I mean, we've seen so many great products, and another great company here, Polaris. And Nick Francis is here with us to talk about some of these things. Nick, how are you?
Excellent, Randy. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You know, Polaris has been around how long?
Polaris has been around since 1954. We were founded as a snowmobile company up in Roseville, Minnesota.
Well, how far have you come?
Yeah, a long way since then. Advancing from snowmobiles into side-by-sides and now boats, Indian motorcycle, and the like.
I know that I'm a big Polaris fan. We used to have, we've got a horse ranch, and have always had, and if you've got a horse ranch, you got to have a Ranger, right? And so we have had one of those forever, and just some, you know, great kind of staples that you guys supply for the agriculture community and for the horse community. So thank you for that. And I know that's getting into the electric side too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. When it comes to the agriculture, farmers, those sort of work applications, our Ranger product line is specially built for that. Heavy hauler, carries lots of payload, whether that be hay bales or for the military. An example off here to the right. This is our electric, all electric work vehicle called the Ranger XP Kinetic. An example of a bunch of ammunition that can be carried in the back. To be used on bases, whether that's range patrol or those sorts of things. The all-electric aspect of the vehicle helps government agencies and the military meet their electrification goals that have been set by the federal and state governments.
Well, I live in Lone Jack, Missouri, so the ammunition in the back would come in handy there too. So, hey, so Nick, talk about some of that. So how you guys take some of your existing product on the civilian side and implement those for the military?
Yeah, you bet. So also here on the showroom floor, we have two examples of where we've been able to bridge our commercial technology and expertise in off-road vehicles and apply that to the military application. So this vehicle here is called the M-Razor Alpha. It's a new program of record for the U.S. Marine Corps and U.S. Special Forces, and this vehicle was built specifically for that. Really, it combines the agility of a Razor type of vehicle, where you have very adaptive suspension that reduces operator fatigue, with the utility nature of the Ranger platform that carries a heavy payload. So for the military, it's all about lots of payload, durability, and then some other features like diesel engines and the like.
Yeah, and you would be someone who would know as a former Navy SEAL, right?
Well, yes, that's right. So my time in service, we used products like these, including the Polaris platform. So it's a real honor to be able to continue to give back to the military and the Special Forces. Some of those units are continuing to use our product today.
So when you talk to your end users, whether it's civilian or military, I'm sure you get feedback, and you take that feedback very seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything we do, everything we develop within the Polaris government defense business has to be based on addressing what the military's requirement is. And you're not going to get that by sitting in the office. Our field service reps, which are scattered across the U.S. and in countries like the UK and Australia, are out there in the field training the military on our products, getting feedback on the use cases and the use environments, so that we in turn can bring that to our engineers and make sure that the next product we develop is going to meet their need both now and into the future.
Yeah, and so, we're also on Armed Forces Radio Network. So we've got a vast audience right now that it's actually pushing the buttons on your equipment, that you supply to them. And that's got to be so important and so gratifying to you.
That's right. Everything that we do here within the Polaris government defense team is set up to ensure that we are fully supporting our products in the field. Anytime that there's a problem, we have a tech line, we have email, our field service reps are on the phone ready to go to help them out. We understand the importance of their mission, and we're here to support them.
Well, and so with Polaris and your teams, it's got to be research and development all the time, right? Talk about the future of Polaris.
Sure. Yes, research and development all the time. Really, it starts with feedback from the field. Off to my left here is an example of that type of feedback. So we went into production on the M-Razor Alpha 4-seat vehicle in 2022. Feedback from the field was great vehicle, perfect for most of our applications. However, with some applications, we have a heavier payload requirement, yet we still want to maintain V-22 transportability. So our engineers developed the 6x6 vehicle here. We have a number of these test assets out in the field with the Marine Corps and SOCOM, and we're getting feedback on the use cases, and this might be a production vehicle for us in the near future.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, it's so cool to see all of these brand new, innovative situations, around here at this conference. And, you talked about the people that use these and the availability and everything. The supply chain slowing you down at all, or is everything pretty much right on schedule?
Oh, well, supply chain always has its challenges, especially during the COVID time frame. Sure. But no, one of the areas of biggest value that we can bring to the military is our supply chain. As a $9 billion global leader in power sports, Polaris has a very robust supply chain, and we leverage all of their systems and processes, and when we're providing spare parts, when we're producing the vehicles. So even throughout the COVID period, we were able to maintain schedule on our contracts, our programs of record. And we've continued to overcome the supply chain challenges for our military.
Pretty strong, Nick. That's pretty strong. And then the people that work on your teams at Polaris, I would imagine a lot of veterans that have to know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, from the CEO on down, lots of patriotism within Polaris. The government and defense team is a small part of Polaris's business, but almost half of our team are veterans or former law enforcement or fire. So we really have a deep understanding of not just the use case for the military, but also how important their missions are and how important our job then is to get them equipment and to sustain that equipment throughout its life cycle.
Always looking for good people, right?
Always looking for good people, you bet, yeah.
So it all starts on the website for people to find out more information?
Yeah, absolutely. Polaris has a website where you can go and see what jobs are available within Polaris. We also are part of skill bridge programs and those sorts of things. We've had several, retiring officers or enlisted come and take advantage of programs like that to get integrated into the workforce after a successful military career.
How's the show going for you so far?
Well, wonderful. AUSA brings a lot of folks. So we'll talk to international and other units as well as the U.S. Army. We have several products. Not just here in our booth, but spread throughout the show as well. A couple of snowmobiles that we've militarized based off of our Titan and RMK platform upstairs, and several M-Razors scattered throughout the show that shows the versatility of the platform. So
I was just going to say, it's like with Polaris, you can get anywhere with Polaris, right? I mean, it's just everywhere. I mean, as far as terrain and conditions and all these kind of things, you guys have such a great knowledge of how to transport everything.
Right. Yeah, that's really Polaris's bread and butter. It's off-road mobility. Typically, it's unarmored, just very light and agile. And the point is to be able to, from a logistics perspective, move people, move equipment over very, very challenging terrain that otherwise they would have to walk on foot. There's a strong demand for that, and we plan to keep providing that service as long as the military needs it.
So, Nick, is there anything you'd like to say to our active duty military right now? I mean, former Navy SEAL, you know what they've gone through, you know what they're going through. What would you like to say to them? Yeah,
thanks, Randy. No, really appreciate the opportunity. Just for any listening or watching, just want to thank all of you for your service. Know that your sacrifices are recognized and the work that you do is appreciated. And, I'd really like to extend that same thanks to the families as well. For those of us that are prior service and those that are living it now, know that the family often makes sacrifices that are on par with the service member themselves. So to all of our veterans, to our active duty military and their families, thank you all very much. Greatly appreciate what you do.
Like we always say, everybody serves, right? Everybody serves. We'll be right back here in the National Defense.